when the Democratic Socialists control the White House, the Senate, and the House, have carte blanche to spend whatever they want, to print whatever they want, to run whatever debt they want. They will run the dollar into the ground. They'll destroy the economy. And who knows where gold's going to go? I mean, 10,000 will be cheap. 20,000, who knows? But the dollar's going to go through the floor. Gold's going to go through the roof.
In the global picture, it's only the West's focus on derivative gold that is actually being challenged. Under the covers, the entire global South are busy converting overpriced dollars into underpriced physical gold. Bottom line, all the bullion banks who estimated $6,000 gold plus or minus $6,000 gold are still projecting prices between 6 and 7,000.
The US dollar is on a collision course with unprecedented devaluation, setting the stage for physical gold to absolutely skyrocket. As political landscapes shift toward unchecked deficit spending and rampant money printing, fiat currency is actively being driven straight into the ground. Renowned macroeconomic experts Peter Schiff and Andrew Maguire warn that the imminent explosion of the U.S. national debt, now surging well past $34 trillion, will fundamentally destroy the economy's paper foundation. While Western markets remain dangerously distracted by derivative paper gold, the entire global South is capitalizing on this misdirection. Central banks across emerging markets have been quietly accumulating record thousands of tons of physical gold, aggressively converting overvalued dollars into underpriced hard assets. As this massive wealth transfer accelerates, bullion banks are confidently projecting baseline prices of $6,000 to $7,000 per ounce, while hyper-inflationary fiat collapse scenarios could easily push physical gold past $10,000 or even $20,000. The global financial architecture is fracturing, and the window to protect your purchasing power with tangible assets is closing rapidly. If you found this breakdown of the imminent dollar collapse and the global physical gold rush valuable, please support the channel by liking this video and subscribing for more hard-hitting financial truth.
Bigger budget deficits, higher inflation, a bear market in stocks, a collapse in real estate prices, which is coming, a financial crisis. If the war continues, we have a financial crisis. The only way to try to avert it or postpone it is massive money printing, rate cuts, everything that they do to avoid another financial crisis that's worse than 2008 is bearish for the dollar and bullish for gold. So people should be loading up on gold and silver now and getting out of their dollars, getting out of their Bitcoin, getting out of overpriced U.S. stocks and bonds. Because either way, if the war continues, it's bad. If the war ends, it's going to be bad. And in fact, all of the problems that the U.S. economy had predate the war. The economy was slowing dramatically. Q4 GDP just 0.7. Inflation was soaring. Prices were really starting to soar before the war started. The war is just going to take a bad situation and make it worse. The only thing the war is going to do for Trump is give him a scapegoat. Because the economy was going to get weaker anyway, because inflation was going to be a lot higher anyway, now Trump can say it's all because of the war. Because it's going to happen, it's going to manifest itself in a big way during the war. So Trump is going to be able to say, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world up until this war started, which we had no choice. We had to fight this war because the Iranians were on the verge of nuking us. So, we had to fight this war, and I had to disrupt the greatest economy in the history of the world. But don't worry. As soon as we win this war, and we will win it, it will be the greatest victory in the history of warfare. And when we have this supreme, glorious victory, then the economy is going to boom once again. And in fact, it'll boom even more than it boomed before. It will be even greater than the greatest economy we've ever had. That'll be the greatest economy ever, the one that we have at the end of this successful war, right? So the war is going to be the gift that keeps on giving politically, because it's going to be a great scapegoat for Trump, even better than the Fed, and the Fed didn't cut in time, or blaming the Supreme Court for getting rid of his beautiful tariffs. I think the war is going to be a more helpful excuse for Trump to try to basically throw everything, kind of like COVID was, right? COVID, everything got bad. Well, it's all because of COVID, right? This is all going to be because of this war that, of course, we didn't have to fight. See, people will forget about that. But also, I think everything that's happening, the weakness in the economy, pretty much hands the midterm elections to the Democrats on a silver platter. Not only will the Democrats retake the House, which was pretty much a foregone conclusion from the beginning, based on how close the margins were and the fact that the party in power always loses some seats in the House in the midterms. So you would have expected the Democrats to get the House back, which is what happened to Trump during his first term, right? He had the House and then lost it. But I think the Republicans will get the Senate. And so, the Democrats will get the Senate. And that's a bigger deal. But now the Democrats will have both houses of Congress. And, they won't have a 60-seat majority, so they won't necessarily be able to do whatever they want there, but they'll be able to disrupt a lot of stuff. But more significantly is the direction the country is going to be headed, because I think that things will be so bad by the general elections in 2028 that not only will the Democrats get the White House in 2028, but they'll get enough additional Senate seats to have 60. And then they'll have it all. And these aren't going to be your father's Democrats or your grandfather's Democrats. These are going to be the most socialist Democrats imaginable. You're talking, Maldami, AOC, Sanders, the Squad, because this disaster of an economy that's going to take place on Trump's watch is going to be blamed 100% on Republicans because the Republicans embraced it, and it's going to be blamed on everything Republicans supposedly stand which is going to be capitalism, free markets, entrepreneurship, deregulation, keep the government off our backs, let the market function. Even though that's not what the Republicans practice, they may have preached it, but they practice the opposite. Trump is one of the biggest socialists in the White House. He's about as far from Ronald Reagan as any Republican has ever been. But that's not the way he's perceived, and that's not the way he marketed himself. And so it's going to be very easy for the Democrats to bury capitalism, to say, you see, look at what greedy capitalism did. Unchecked capitalism, greed, big business, they wrecked the economy, just like they wrecked it in 2008, but they wrecked it worse this time. We need government to take over. The government has to get in control to make sure the economy works for everybody, for the little guys, not just the fat cats and the billionaires. But we need an economy that really works, and only the government can do that. We need a centrally planned and controlled economy that helps workers and helps everybody. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. But the public is just dumb enough to buy it. And the circumstances are going to be bad enough that, they'll be willing to take a shot, right, at these promises. But what they're not going to want is 4 more years of what the Republicans brought. So all of this is good for gold, because if you thought the deficits were bad under Trump, wait till you see what happens under the next round of socialists, especially when the Democratic Socialists control the White House, the Senate, and the House, have carte blanche to spend whatever they want, to print whatever they want, to run whatever debt they want. They will run the dollar into the ground. They'll destroy the economy. And who knows where gold's going to go? 10,000 will be cheap. 20,000, who knows? But the dollar's going to go through the floor. Gold's going to go through the roof. And so I think the sooner that you could buy. So again, as I've been saying, I know I didn't anticipate this big drop. But you know what? There's an expression about a gift horse. And don't look this one in the mouth. Don't ask any questions. Just take advantage of it, because it won't be long before people realize what's happening here and how bullish this is for gold. And there may have been some countries or somebody that needed to sell some gold right away because they had to stock up on oil, or I don't know what happened to drive a rush for liquidity. But the war was very disruptive right away. Nobody obviously expected it, right? It was a surprise that we just started the war, even though we had been building up our truth strength, in the region. I don't think people were prepared for that. In fact, obviously we were in the middle of negotiations.
The U.S. economy was already deteriorating before any geopolitical conflict, burdened by soaring inflation and stalling growth. However, the current war serves as the perfect political scapegoat to mask these pre-existing economic failures. As the financial crisis deepens, this engineered disaster will likely trigger a massive political pendulum swing. During upcoming election cycles, progressive platforms could seize total governmental control, resulting in unchecked policies, carte blanche deficit spending, and infinite money printing. Consequently, the US dollar will be driven straight into the ground. This catastrophic fiat collapse is the ultimate bullish catalyst for precious metals. As the paper economy fractures under the weight of hyper-inflationary policies, physical gold could easily skyrocket to $10,000 or even $20,000 an ounce. Investors must view any temporary market pullbacks as a rare gift to accumulate hard assets before the inevitable dollar collapse. Let's get back to the interview.
Now, gold is oversold. It's also not going unnoticed that gold hit its most oversold levels since its November 2024 $2,500 equivalent lows. However, most Western analysis fails to account for the Western paper to global South physical inflection point. But here's the point missed by analysts viewing gold through Western lenses, including zero hedges analysis. Gold is doing exactly what it was supposed to do when it was purchased, as they purchased originally, to hedge a black swan event, which we've just had. Now, obviously, there is a mechanical relationship between derivative gold and derivative real rates. So what are they backed by? First-tier gold provided the necessary instant liquidity, and that was when all other asset classes failed. The gold price overshoot was caused by the PPT disruptively leaning into the plain vanilla mechanical sell-off, which in turn has successfully driven the myopic current mainstream media narrative, which claims gold has failed as a safe haven hedge. Whereas in the global picture, it's only the West's focus on derivative gold that is actually being challenged. Under the covers, the entire global South are busy converting overpriced dollars into underpriced physical gold. Bottom line, all the bullion banks who estimated $6,000 gold plus or minus $6,000 gold are still projecting prices between 6 and 7,000. So basically, gold did what it was designed to do. When the sovereigns and central banks bought it for a black swan event, that is exactly what provided the liquidity. And sure, we saw, and that's what partly drove the sell-off, but it was the PPT that overshot and leaned into that and overshot it. It's done. Of note really was the paper to physical divergence in silver, though. And while gold suppression antics have also weighed on silver, it's now become the wild card that is going to lead gold higher. Now, further evidence the PBOC and the generals are sucking silver into China to meet inelastic demand was partly evidenced by Bloomberg last Friday. So also noting global inventory shortages, quote, China's lofty imports have yet to disrupt the London market, thanks to a record inflow of silver into the global trading hub following historic squeeze last year. Less silver head in exchange-traded funds around the world, which have dropped this year by more than 1,900 tons, has also freed up more metal. Now, if you recall, this was the historic squeeze that they have just referred to. To put the current silver supply-demand imbalance into context, despite this $60 sell-off from high to low, from February's high to Monday's 61,210 low. Current Shanghai Futures Exchange inventories at 12.09 million ounces are barely off their all-time 11th of the March 8.1 million ounce lows. It illustrates physical demand is both inelastic and synthetically suppressed. The COMEX is the only source of underpriced silver that can be forced into delivery. Net of VAT, deliverable Shanghai spot silver has averaged a $10 premium, 13% higher than unallocated, backwardated, extremely oversold silver futures. So literally the price is currently, in fact, $10, consistently been $10 here in the 106 level. It's currently, the sweet spot is currently 90. Silver has not been this oversold since October of 2023, when silver was trading below $21. Now, these COMEX registered inventories are being targeted. However, export US controls are forcing very large cash settlements. So essentially, you want to come and buy COMEX silver, there is some export controls in place, and is forcing large cash settlements. And these cash settlements are based upon an agreed, related, bilaterally settled LBMA physical delivery price. That's currently annualized at around plus or minus 8%. Plus, of course, there's the sundry shipping costs. Now, while these arbitrage margins are thin, silver is in such short supply that it's being drained into PBOC coffers. And while silver is captive to official PPT gold-focused interventions, liquidity providers also report very large size PBOC military silver accumulations into the corrective action, with very large premiums being paid. And this places silver in the crosshairs for a very strong physical-driven rally. As this silver demand now moves into competitive war conditions, we watch synthetically oversold silver to lead gold significantly higher. Watch it. It will move. It is already starting to outperform. We've seen mornings, yesterday morning, it went into the green, even though gold was still being weighed on. It's going to be hard to cap it.
The recent market turbulence has exposed a massive divergence between Western paper derivatives and the undeniable physical demand from the global South. While mainstream narratives attempt to claim gold failed as a safe haven during this black swan event, it actually performed exactly as designed by providing crucial liquidity to sovereign entities. The artificially engineered paper sell-off has merely created a historic accumulation window, particularly for silver. Silver has now emerged as the ultimate wild card, driven by extreme inelastic demand from China and severe global inventory shortages. With Shanghai physical spot premiums consistently running $10 higher than manipulated COMEX futures, tangible silver is being aggressively drained by Eastern powers. Even with restrictive U.S. export controls forcing massive cash settlements on the COMEX, the relentless physical accumulation by entities like the PBOC guarantees that this synthetically suppressed market cannot be contained forever. As geopolitical tensions escalate into competitive war conditions, heavily oversold physical silver is fundamentally positioned to break free and lead gold substantially higher. Share your thoughts on their analysis in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, please support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more financial insights. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.